5 key essential things that you should take care of when you are developing an application or a software for your startup or your company. First is the user interaction. Now let's understand interaction. Right now you are interacting with me, you are interacting with this video. Same way, at any point of time, we are either interacting with a person, a thing, or a visual. Agreed? Better is the interaction, better is the engagement. Are we on the same page? If yes, why shouldn't our software be such? What I mean to say is, every feature, everything in your application should be so easy to use for the customer that it is a no-brainer for him. Anything that he wants to do on your software should be so easy, even his kid could do it. Now what you can do is, I personally use hooked model I ask these questions for every feature I do. What you can do is, first question you should ask is, what is the right motivation for the customer that he would click this feature or this button or anything like that? And even if he has clicked that button, what is the instant gratification, the instant reward for him? Even he got the instant reward, what is the long-term benefit for him? And after the long-term benefit, why would he come back to your application or use this feature? That would make sure that you are building an amazing application. Ask this for every feature. Second is security. We live in an era that there are so many things on the internet, so many scripts on the internet trying to steal your information. And we all know about that. We are seeing so many data breaches now and then. Imagine your application scaling on a good level and then every data is just wiped out. It would be a shock for your customers, even for you. So what you can do is implement just these essential things and you are good to go. First is the multi-factor authentication. Any person who wants to use your dashboard or your cloud should use a user management system and a multi-factor authentication. Even your developers doing code, they would require this access keys, secret keys to access your cloud services. They should also be given a multi-factor authentication. Not direct credentials shouldn't be shared anywhere, either in your code or using a dashboard. Second thing you could use is security groups. To allow and block the right and wrong kind of IPs to access your application, you should use security groups. Then you should use VPC. That what kind of infrastructure should be allowed publicly and what shouldn't be. There are many things that shouldn't be allowed publicly. For example, you have a business logic residing in somewhere. You do not need to allow every public port to it. It could be accessed via VPC within your infrastructure. So simple. There are many pen test tools available to do the vulnerability scanning for your application. I would share the links with you. Do that. Very easy to do. Then you should take care of, now even the clouds are providing security thing that scans your infrastructure every now and then and alerts you about the missing information or the SQL injections, things like that, that your security is at stake. Use that. And the HIPAA compliance, the PCI compliance are just for our security. We should be implementing that. These are the very basic essential things, won't take much time. Then comes the scalability. Now imagine one day you had 1,000 customers. Suddenly next day you got a spike and you shift past to 5,000 customers, 10,000 customers. And if at that point of time your application crashes, that happens in real case scenario every now and then. It would be a loss to your customers and to your company. So your application, your code should be so efficient that it should be able to do scalability very easily. What you can do for your code is, you can either do memory testing, memory profiling, how much memory it is taking and how much load it can do. You can do load testing. Even now Postman allows load testing, but we aren't using it. So you could even do the load testing. You could run your application on device farm, run it on 10,000 applications on a very minimal cost, get the reports, you would get to know how far it scales. For infrastructure, you could use load balancers, you could use CloudFront, you could use target groups. This would ensure, you could even use CloudWatch for the alerts. So this would ensure that anytime your application needs scaling, the server is going up, it is scaling up from 1 to 2, and whenever the application doesn't need that much scalability, it shifts down to 1. So your cost is also optimized. You do not need to worry that you are spending so much. Got it? So scalability is important. Fourth is reliability and stability. How reliable and stable is your application? So suppose you have a scalable infrastructure, you write a good code, but how stable it is in the conditions when there is low internet, when there is network problems, how stable it is, how easy it is for customers to understand, okay, this kind of thing is happening. So you should handle the stability features. Even the device farm could help you understand the stability. It has 10,000 devices from different OS versions. You can just deploy basic test package that you write for your application on that, and it would run and give you reports, even the video recording of everything, that how your application is performing under different stress conditions. So stability is very important. Last but not the least is documentation. Now, when I talk about documentation, I see a lag in that. We make documentation for the requirements, what we need to do. But what after that? What happens after that? We need to make sure even after the code, the documentation is so clear. Any new person, if you are changing your employees, any new person who comes into your company, takes in your code, it should be very easy for him to understand what's going on. Even the API should be documented. Now every major API tool is giving the documentation feature, the testing feature, test cases features like in your code. You could maintain that. You should have a proper README. Your GitHub README should be updated in such a way that it guides like a tree with branches towards your code and towards your infrastructure. Yeah, just don't reveal everything publicly. That you need to take care of. So these are the 5 key essential things. If you take care of that, you are on your way to build a simple, classic, a robust application which your customer would also love, and they would have a good retention. Thank you.